Hello and welcome back to On the Workbench. Today what you're looking at here is a muffler off an 06 Saab 9.3. Now obviously you can see it is laying on my garage floor, which is not where it belongs. And if we come around to the side, and you can see there's a nice gaping hole there. Maybe the light's not quite right on that, but that hole should not be there. So today we're going to be replacing the muffler with a brand new one. Here is the replacement part. You can see it's shipped with the tailpipes covered. And you can see there's a few small differences. So what we're looking at here is the bottom side of the muffler, where the support rods here are now welded around the bottom as opposed to on the top. There's a dimple here, not present in this one. But otherwise they're the same. And if we look over here at the exhaust that it gives you, so whenever we go to replace this, the two pipes are actually going to nest one inside the other. So that's a nice touch to make this a lot simpler of a repair depending upon where it broke. Fortunately for me, it broke right there at the edge of the muffler, and then it was dangling, hence why we can see a little bit of road rash right there where the muffler fell off. Now for the other parts and tools you're going to need for this muffler replacement, the first thing you're going to need is going to be one of these exhaust cutters, because you're going to need to cut off what's left of your remaining exhaust to an appropriate overlap for your new muffler. You're going to want a muffler clamp. You're going to need a 2.5 inch one. This is a 2 1/8. I'm going to use a 2.5. I just don't have a nice box for a 2.5 here. You're going to need a 14 millimeter socket. I would recommend a compact impact wrench. This is my Cobalt 3/8 right angle drive. Safety glasses. And then I'm going to use this other product here called Muffler Weld to help seal the two pieces of the exhaust system back together, and an acid brush to apply it. I don't like what the instructions on this product that suggest using your fingertip with the glove in. Just use an acid brush. It'll make your life a lot easier. And you'll need about maybe 30, 45 minutes of your time, if that. The most complicated part is making sure you mark off the right place to cut with the exhaust cutter and cutting off your scrap. So with that, let's go to the car and get started. I've actually already cut off my remaining tailpiece here. And so we'll end up jumping right into the muffler installation. All right, so now what you can see that I've done here is I've used an exhaust cutter, and I have cut the tailpipe to make it match the length that I need to have an overlap with my new muffler. Now the next step that I'm going to do here, I've already done a couple test fits of this in the muffler to make sure I got my exhaust cut correctly, is I'm going to take my, we'll call this muffler glue, and go around the outside, because this surface is going to mate inside the existing tailpipe. I'm just going to apply this all the way around the outside using an acid brush. You can see some scratch marks there about how deep this goes. I want to make sure I get this painted on all the way around to help me get a good, tight exhaust seal on this muffler. All right, that looks good. Also, before we go any further, double check that your exhaust hangers are in good shape. You should have 2 of them that came off the car before. So now I've got to flip this over and get this underneath the car. That's going to make the angle for filming this just a little bit more fun and special, we'll say. Now I'm going to take the new muffler and go ahead and mate in the pipe. There we go. We got a good fit there. Now at the other end, we got to make sure that our exhaust hangers get in the right spot and are able to get hung. Working on the other exhaust hanger here. Make sure you get the rubber past the barbed end, and because of that sealant, make sure you get your muffler nice and level into the position that you want it. Otherwise, it will twist on you in ways that maybe you don't want. All right, so now I'm going to take a 2.5-inch muffler clamp. I'm going to put this around the muffler here, around that overlapping surface. We can move this into place a little bit later. So just for now, I need to get the bolts started. I'm reusing an old one out of my parts bin. I just need to get this buttoned up and started here, really. All right, you can see I've got my exhaust joint saddled there with the clamp. Now I've got to tighten this down. There we go, get that through a little bit further. I've got this going by hand. I'm going to use a 14mm socket and a compact impact wrench to be able to help me move these bolts down. There, now you can see it. I've got it mostly fully seated. Now I'm going to come back with a little bit more goo. See, I've already started here trying to get this joint here, get as much goo into it and get it nice and sealed as best as I can. There's goo on the inside, but the better I can have this fully tightened and sealed up, the better it's going to be. There we go. Now we got that there set. Now let everything here dry and set up for a bit. Now after you've let your exhaust sit overnight, now I've driven this a couple times since I filmed the last part of the video. That joint's got to look something like this. You can see it's kind of grayed up a bit, but it's all sealed up there nice and tight with that sealant. And with that, you're good to go. Double check that your exhaust pipe and the rest of the exhaust system is not touching the outside of your skirt around your bumper, and you're good to go. So with that, any questions or comments, go ahead and put it down below in the comments right about there. Click the subscribe button right about there if you haven't already done so. Thanks for watching, and as always, have a great day. Bye.